Hey guys, it's Jamie from No Getting Off This Train, and today I'm going to make stuffed peppers to put in the freezer. So this is the third recipe in my 25 Days of Freezer Meal series. To find the other recipes, you can find a link in the description below. Now, I don't make stuffed peppers very often because it just seems like so much work. You've got to cut the pepper, you have to cook the meat, put it all together, and then bake it. Like, it seems to take so long. I've made unstuffed pepper casserole before, but I really wanted to try my hand at just regular stuffed peppers. So I thought this recipe would be great, and the fact that you can put it in the freezer is amazing. Wouldn't it be awesome for you to be able to make these stuffed peppers ahead of time, put them in your freezer, and then just bake them whenever you're ready? So if you're as excited as I am about making these stuffed peppers, let me show you how they're made. Start by chopping off the tops of 6 bell peppers. You can use any color, I just choose green because they're cheaper. Chop off the tops and then cut out the membrane on the inside, making sure to remove any seeds. Do this with all 6 of them. Next, chop 1 medium onion. In a pan, add 2 teaspoons of olive oil and saute the onions until they're just translucent. While the onions are cooking, boil a pot of water and then add the instant rice according to the directions on the box. Once the rice is finished cooking, set it aside for later. Next, add 1 pound of ground beef and cook until the meat is fully browned. Add 2 cloves of garlic and cook for another 30 seconds or so. Once the beef is fully cooked, you can drain it at this time. Once that's finished, add a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, 1 can of diced tomatoes, 2 teaspoons Italian seasoning, ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, ½ teaspoon chili powder, a ½ teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Once that is fully mixed together, add the rice and then ½ cup of cheese. Now that you have your mix, let's stuff the peppers. Now, I didn't exactly measure how much to put in here. I aim to have about a cup of mixture per pepper. Now, that pepper on the very bottom was a lot smaller than the others, so my mixture was a little bit off. And I tried not to have any left over, but I had about a ½ cup of mixture left, so I put it in the fridge. I will use it for something, I'm not sure yet, but you can also freeze it for later. You'll want to make sure the peppers are on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. That way when you put them in the freezer, they won't stick. Once you have all the mixture inside the peppers, you can start to add the cheese. Now I like to use freshly grated cheddar cheese. I think that the cheese tends to melt better. I think it tastes better too. I think I'm going to grate my own cheese from now on. Once you put the cheese on, put them in the freezer for about 2 to 3 hours, just enough to get them frozen. Once that's finished, put them in a labeled gallon-sized freezer bag. Make sure they're standing upright. It was about at this time that I realized I could only fit 4 peppers in the gallon-sized bag, so you'll need 2 of them. Whether it's 4 and 2 or 3 and 3, just make sure they're standing upright. When it's time to cook, thaw them in the fridge overnight and then bake them at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. So if you want a printable recipe for these stuffed peppers, you can find a link in the description below. You can also find the playlist to my 25 Days of Freezer Meal series if you want to see everything else that I've made. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for any future updates regarding more recipes, meal planning tips, all my grocery hauls as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.